How do I overcome the urge of checking my social media on Shabbos?
This is a great question. It's a question that's asked today in regards to texting, in regards to social media. Some people even call it Shomer Shabbos. I keep Shabbos, but I slip onto social media. Which obviously social media is not allowed for a person to go onto social media on Shabbos. And so a lot of people have this question: how do I help myself? What can I do when I'm in such a situation? There's a great story that I want to share. There's a story with Rabbi Chadikov. Rabbi Chadikov was the Rebbe's secretary for many years. And this story goes back to the 1970s, where there was a young shliach going out to California. His name was Rabbi Levin. He's now a shliach in Palo Alto. And Rabbi Chadikov sat him down and gave him some introductory, wise advice on how he should go ahead in his shlichus. He's going to be meeting Jews in the Wild West in California, and here's a young man going out. I'll give you some advice on how you should approach them, how you should deal with bringing them closer to Torah mitzvahs. And the following is what he said. Rabbi Chadikov turns around to this young Rabbi Levin and tells him, you're going to meet a Jew, and this Jew is going to tell you he doesn't keep Shabbos. He has his store open on Shabbos. He's Machalel Shabbos. He desecrates the Shabbos. You should know, says Rabbi Chadikov to Rabbi Levin, that this Jew is not desecrating the Shabbos. He's good with Shabbos. You would think that you shouldn't go ahead and help him and teach him about Shabbos and just focus on every other mitzvah. No, I'm telling you, Shabbos is actually a mitzvah you could engage with and help him with. This Jew just has a challenge with how he views a person's livelihood, how he views his making money. He has a challenge with koichi v'oitzim yadi, with the recognition that money, livelihood, does not come from our efforts. It comes from the blessing of Hashem. You could close and you'll still be able to have a livelihood and live properly. So this Jew has a challenge with this recognition, and that's why he's opening on Shabbos. Therefore, go over to this Jew and help him keep whatever he can in Shabbos that doesn't directly affect his challenge. For example, he gives him a few examples. He tells him if the person gets products before Shabbos, something to fix. He's a watch repair, let's say, or some kind of repair shop. Instruct this Jew that he should not repair them on Shabbos. Once you got the product, you have the invoice. Money is coming in. The business is working. Help him realize, you know what? Tell the customers, I'm so busy. I'll have for you this watch ready on Sunday. Like this, at least you're saving him from working on Shabbos. Help this Jew to have the light switch. The lights should not be turned on and off by hand. Help him have some Shabbos switch, where you have something on it with a timer or whatever it may be. And so Rabbi Chadikov helped Rabbi Levin realize that this Jew is not an issue with Shabbos. He has an issue with how he perceives livelihood. And the story is told. Rabbi Levin says he met a Jew, and this Jew ended up was a partisan during the war, and he came over to Rabbi Levin. He says, I know you think I'm not Jewish. He says, why do you think I'm not Jewish? Because I have my store open on Shabbos. I know you think I'm not Jewish. Rabbi Levin tells him the whole spiel. He tells me you should just know you're just as Jewish as me, and really you want to keep Shabbos. And I'm going to actually give you some advice. Here's what you can do. You can tell the customers, you can do the bendel, you can do the lights. He gave him different tips that Rabbi Chadikov just told him. He gave to this Jew. And sure enough, Rabbi Levin relates later on, this Jew later told Rabbi Levin, you saved my Yiddishkeit. I did that. I started with the areas outside of my challenge, and eventually I dealt with my challenge as well. And so the first and most important thing, anyone who's struggling with texting on Shabbos, or social media on Shabbos, the first and most important thing they have to know is they have no issue with Shabbos. They love Shabbos and Shabbos loves them. And their question is testimony to that. They want to keep Shabbos. What's the challenge of someone who is on social media or who is on his phone texting? If we phrase this and identify it correctly, it's a challenge of an individual who there's a metal box robbing them of their control in life. And this is not only about Shabbos, it's about their whole life. They probably are finding themselves not with a hardship and a challenge of paying attention to people, of paying attention to their spouse, of paying attention to their children. So this is an issue with the phone. It's not an issue with Shabbos. That recognition in itself is gold, because it stops us from having that terrible thought that once I'm already doing texting, I might as well also do something because Shabbos is already out of my domain. Not true. Shabbos and you are one. Keep it. Treasure it. Now let's focus on the phone. Once we realize Shabbos, we have to have a second realization, and that is the most important thing we want is freedom. Realize that metal phone is robbing you of your freedom. It's stealing. It's literally torturing you. It's destroying you. When you start looking at the phone as a phone that belongs to me and not that I belong to my phone, then we can go to step 3. And that's a practical thing. Take an hour a day and turn it off. Taste freedom. Taste what it means that you own yourself and you're not owned by a metal box. And when you come to Shabbos, you're going to treasure 24 hours of freedom. You're going to treasure the ability that Hashem gave us 24 hours to unplug from all of our worldly mishigasin, all the worldly stuff that we're just plagued with. Amachaya, that's so beautiful. You suddenly won't feel like you have an urge to text, but you're going to have an urge, when does Shabbos come in, that I can shut off that phone, gain my freedom, and reinvigorate for a next week. And that is how we should be viewing this struggle of Shabbos.